So welcome back, kings and queens, and welcome if you're new here. My name is Hope King, and I'm the designer behind King's Designs MD. I told you guys I wanted to show you how I assemble my notebook sets, my memo sets rather. And so I just wanted to show you, this is one of the sets that I just worked on. That is the larger notebook. This is the smaller, excuse me, I keep saying notebook. This is the larger memo set, smaller memo set, and the pen that goes with it. And so I just wanted to show you like what happens with all of this. It's pretty simple. Some people might find it a little tedious the way that I do it, but it's pretty simple. So give me a minute and we'll get started. Okay, so here we are, and if you see the names changed, it's okay because I'm working with a couple different orders. So here we are, the first set. This is my 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. I have printed out 4. If you saw my video on how to design them, I just saved it and printed it. So that is my sheet. It has 6 on them, and that's my small memo set. Then we have the larger ones. It's 2 on a sheet, and there's the pen wrap. Now typically I would save this and then only do one with the pen wrap on it, so I'm not printing out multiple. But since it's blank and generic, I can just keep this, so in the future if I just print these 2, then I won't have to add the pen wrap on extra, if that makes sense. If not, just cut it off, it's extra, or just sell the pens with that on it. So the first thing I'm doing is slicing my paper. Now I'm here at my table and I have my paper slicer. So I am just lining things up, and it can be a little tricky when you have large stacks of paper, and getting it sliced as accurately as possible. But I try to line my edge of my paper up with the edge of the line inside. Now I bring my slicer down and go back because I am working with 10 sheets of paper right now, and I try to keep everything tightly together as I rotate it. If it's not, I try to restack, realign, and come back. And you can use your paper trimmer edges at the top and bottom if that helps you. What I find is that when you're working with the larger stacks of paper, I lost my train of thought trying to cut, but it's just a little thicker to cut through when you're working with the larger stacks. You can always not use so many stacks so that you can get through them a little bit easier if that's what you want to do. But you want to try to get as close to the trimmed out edges that you've created. And so I'm just going through slicing, slicing, slicing. So now we have one free. And you can go back in and clean up your edges. What I was trying to say a while ago is when you have so many pages and it is on a whole full sheet, if you ever have an issue like that, you can slice it off with your slicer, or you can go in with a pair of scissors to even and straighten it out as much as possible. But when you're cutting a whole full sheet, it's sometimes difficult to get all your pages lined up because you have so much margin here. So because you have this huge margin on this side, you can't exactly line this up. And I'll try to show you what I mean. So here we are with this stack. But I can't exactly get my edge here lined up because I have the white border. Now I can slice these straight through. Now that the border is cut down, when I go here, I can see my line exactly against the, I can see my purple line or blue line exactly against this edge here. So that's just my paper cutter and how I work. Somebody else might work a little differently. But getting to your edges is important. And you can absolutely do this by hand. You don't have to use a paper slicer. Some people have the industrial slicers. If that's what you have, use it. Just trimming this out. So I've gotten one set cut off free. Well, one row. And then I'll go back and individualize them. Y'all know me by now. I can't talk and I was about to say talk and type at the same time. I can't. And I have to pause when I'm doing certain things. And I've told you guys before, I'm the person that turns the radio down to try to see where I'm going. So that's what y'all working with over here. But anywho, just getting these freed up. And these are super simple and easy to do. Like I said, this is regular copy paper. This particular paper I ended up getting from Target. I typically use Sam's Club HP, but I happened to be out at Target and I grabbed their paper. I have to say, I very much prefer my HP paper. But I'm the type of person, when I get used to something and I like it, I just want to keep using what I like. I don't need to differentiate from that. So that's just me, my preference. I will say my husband, I asked him to grab me some paper, and he got the multi-use paper. I didn't like that paper at all. Again, some of this is personal preference, but for me, that paper was so super thin. I told him it was like rice paper. So yeah, so I didn't care for that at all. But I'm going to cut some more and I'll be back to show you how to assemble it.